Well, my birthday was last month, but I decided to be a nice guy and I shared the cake with everyone. Number 4, Meeteetse at number 5, Guernsey. First quarter, Guernsey wearing the black and trying to make something happen early. Treasure Hollister, he knows that X marks the spot, and Gage Cunningham has got the treasure chest. A 24-yard pickup down to the 6-yard line, and the Vikings were in good shape. But on the next play, their ship would spring a leak. Sean Shepperson was there to knock the ball loose on the handoff. John Andren would recover, and that ended up saving 6 points for the time being. Now it's time to see what the opposition can do. And here's the guy to look out for, Seth Bennett. He's a junior, and this guy can run. In the game prior to this one, he rushed for 500 yards plus and 8 rushing touchdowns. But this one will not be added to his total. There was some holding at the beginning of this play, so it's coming back, but it was worth showing. Now this play is on a different possession, but Bennett does not mind one bit. He missed all of last season with a shoulder injury, and that's why the Longhorns went winless. But everything looks fine now. We never got the official numbers from this game, but let's just say Bennett did what he was supposed to do. This play ended up being a 47-yard pickup into enemy territory. You would think someone would have scored by now, but we have a pair of zeros on the scoreboard after the first 10 minutes. Second quarter, the visitors would continue the drive and finish the job. Bennett can also throw as well, and he was thinking about it. He almost got the camera on the second pump fake. There was just enough room on the far side for him to slip in from 9 yards away. We finally got some points. Meeteetse up 6-0. The boys in black would strike back. Brady Esquibel is one of the top 5 rushers in the state in 6-man, and no one laid a hand on him, and that was probably the easiest 7 yards that he's ever run. Add in a 2-point kick, and Guernsey would take the lead 8-6. Back come the Longhorns, and more from Bennett. Plays like this show why he's the top rusher in the state in 6-man, averaging more than 200 yards per game. He also leads 6-man in rushing touchdowns. This is number 27 on the season, and he had to go 28 yards for it. His team led 14-8 going into halftime. Third quarter, let's get someone else in on the act. Shepperson is a tall player, and he's just a freshman. Actually, the visitors only have one senior on the roster, so look out for them next year. It's now 20-8. Guernsey would recover and get back into it. They were counting on Esquibel, and he did his part and then some. Untouched again, and he's going to rumble 24 yards into the promised land. And he's a sophomore, so you know he's going to get better. Home team trails 20-16. After a turnover on downs, the Vikings got back to work. Esquibel again from 1 yard, and all he had to do was get the ball across the goal line. The boys in black have righted the ship, and they were up 23-20. Then the Longhorns would go on another cattle drive, and guess who again? Actually, Bennett would get a little help from one of the officials on this play, and we know he did not do it intentionally. Bennett will zigzag his way through the defense for a 30-yard score. That's TD number 3 in the game for him, and the lead has changed hands again, 28-23 going into the final 10 minutes. Fourth quarter, well, for the most part, you could say this game was Bennett versus Esquibel, and now it's time for the latter to do his part again. Esquibel is busting loose and taking off for 41 yards, and no one is in his way. Guernsey would swing the pendulum the other way for the time being and take the lead back, up 30-28 with a little less than 5 minutes to go. But on the ensuing kickoff, here's where the tide turned for good, and I think you know what's coming. The boys in black had been kicking the ball out of bounds away from Bennett. This was the one time that they did not, and Bennett would make them pay. He'll get good blocking, get around the defense on the far sideline, and he's gone. 60 yards. That play was the difference maker as Meeteetse managed to get out of town with a 36-30 win.